Cavs fans, welcome to another episode of the Cavs Pick and Roll Podcast, the podcast for diehard Cavs fans. I am Corey. I am here with Alex. We are making our triumphant return, Alex.
Yeah, it's been a little while. I
It's
think
been
we say that every single episode.
I think so too. And it's crazy because our last episode there were so many hopes and dreams.
It was.
and today it's a little bit different, a little bit more of a reality check, and just things have changed drastically.
I think I was wearing a LeBron jersey on the last
I
episode.
think so. I think I was wearing Cavs gear. I'm not even rocking Cavs gear because I don't know. It's cold in my basement and I'm wearing a long sleeve. So it's almost hoodie weather, it feels like. Not yet, but we're getting there. Summer's coming to an end, kids getting ready back to go to school. And what that means, we are inching closer to the next NBA season and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Give it another go. They're not going to quite look the way we were hoping as Cavs fans, right? And where I kind of wanted to start, just because we haven't been able to give our 2 cents on this yet, and that's really all we're going to give it because it's happened kind of so long ago now. But Alex, it felt like we were waiting an eternity for LeBron to make his decision, right? And I recently went on my yearly family vacation with my family, as I do, down to South Carolina. We drive down there every year. And what happens? The day I leave, the day I am driving down there, which was the 24th of July, LeBron makes his announcement that he is signing with the Philadelphia 76ers. And my first reaction was crap. I can't record with Alex because I'm in a car for the next 12 hours and then
Pull
on a
the car
vacation.
over to the side of the
Yeah.
highway and weep
Yeah.
for a little while.
Right. And then just the shock, the anger, the dismay, the road rage as I'm driving through the mountains at that point. I'm in the Virginias driving through the mountains at that point. It was not a safe thing. But Alex, that's how I found out when LeBron decided for the third time in his career to not choose the Cleveland Cavaliers. And where were you at, Alex, when the news broke?
I don't even remember, but I remember you texted me and I was like, damn it. I just lost $100 on Kalshi.
I thought it was 200. You told me you put it in another
Oh,
100.
I don't even
Alex
keep track
was
of-
trying to get paid.
Hey, my wife might be watching this. So.
Oh boy.
But it was $10.
Yeah. So yeah, after all that waiting, after all that excitement, LeBron chose not to come back to the Cleveland Cavaliers and have the storybook ending that we were all hoping for, Alex. And it feels like that happened so long ago now, but it's also so fresh. It's kind of weird because you're kind of just trying not to think about it. But that's the reality. There's no LeBron, and that just we would have been so hyped right now if LeBron would be here right now. We'd be thinking of all other sorts of possibilities of other players coming, and just, man, the whole narrative would have been flipped compared to where we're at today, which is embarrassed by the New York Knicks and really have had a lackluster offseason, which we're going to get into, right?
Well, it's because it's not just because it's LeBron, but it's also because that is like our number one need for this team. It's always been that ever since he left. It's always been that hole at the 3 at the small forward position.
It's crazy that every gap in between him being here, they never really found a great solution. They've tried to put Cedi Osman, Dean Wade's, like kind of like this, like one foot in, 1 foot out kind of attempt at it. They've never gone out and traded or signed some max caliber player to fill that void. And I think it's because they were always hoping they were leaving that door open for that comeback. And it's disheartening, especially when you find out that the Cavs were the only team that he actually had an in-person, meeting with. And which makes you think, man, it was on his mind, right? He was entertaining it, and the Cavs just fell short. And Philadelphia, man, just out of nowhere trades for Jaylen Brown and all of a sudden puts themselves into the conversation, right? And showed him that, okay, we're ready to to go all in, and the Cavs, kind of decided to remain as is for the most part. So
We'll see how it goes, but I still
we
think he made a mistake. I think
yeah,
that LeBron on the Cavs, I mean, this team is so much better than what I think the 76ers will be. Yeah, they got a lot of big names on that team, but that team was just assembled this offseason. Like,
that's the thing.
they're not,
You
they
you
got to play together. They got to learn to mesh together. They got to build some camaraderie. Like,
There's a
it
lot of
takes a lot of
egos.
time. Yeah,
There's a
there's
lot of
egos.
egos. There's a lot of alphas on that team.
Unproven. Embiid doesn't like to play basketball anymore.
No,
He doesn't play back to backs. I don't know. It
it's
seems like
it's it's a very good look on paper, but
yeah,
how well it'll actually work on the court, time will tell. History will say that most times, in year one of like a super team or a team being put together, it's very difficult to go all the way. But they're definitely going to be the center of the NBA as far as attention and all that kind of stuff, right? And the Cavs won't. If anything, it's kind of the opposite to where now all of a sudden the 76ers have risen up to the Knicks level and the Cavs have dropped down at least a notch or two, right? And we'll talk about that as well. But that's the reality. He chose to move on. He's playing, at least 2 more years in the league. He signed a 2-year deal, and we'll see what happens. I will say this: with him being in the East now, that does mean you're going to see LeBron what 3-4 times versus the one time you saw him in Cleveland, when he was out west. And I don't remember who said it, but somebody said it on one of the social media sites. I'm like, you know what? Absolutely. The Cavs were giving him a tribute video every time he came into town, year over year. That shit stops. That stops. He's playing 2 more years. He's playing on another team, and now you're going to see him 2 times a year in Cleveland. You don't need to give him a tribute video every year. Give him one next year when he's finally done. But you know what? It's on. It's on.
yeah, I agree.
You can't keep catering to him and giving him that kind of love. And Alex, I do wonder at the end of the day, when it comes to love, if that was also part of it. No, not Kevin Love. No, not Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. I'm talking about at the end of the day, this hurts, but history is going to tell. In the future, Alex, we're still going to love LeBron. He's still going to get a statue. He still helped deliver the only championship in franchise history. He knows that this is his home, and ultimately, he's going to be loved here. So maybe that also made it easy for him to make that decision to go somewhere else. I don't know. But it's interesting to think about all the what could have beens and all the angles that were involved in it.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely an odd choice. Philadelphia, like,
Yeah.
wouldn't want to live there. Like
Yeah.
he has no history there. Totally
Yeah.
new fan base this late in the career.
New Jersey,
Jersey sales, is that the angle? Like, I don't get it.
yeah,
It's
I
just
don't
so
know.
bizarre.
But we need to move on because
Yeah,
he's not going to be here. And, when that news dropped, okay, well, what was the pivot? What was plan B? Right. And you started to hear some reports come out, nothing too legitimate, but you heard stuff of, well, the Cavs have some other big names that they're, in the works on and so on and so forth. Well, what I could tell you, Alex, since that day, which is nearing a month now, the Cavs have not added anyone significant to this roster. Now, they did bring back a player from the EuroLeague that hasn't been in the NBA in 5 years now, right?
yeah.
Mario Herzona, I think is how you
Hezonja,
say his
yeah.
last name.
I think it's Hezonja, yeah.
Herzonia, yeah. So, the Cavs kind of won that sweepstakes, if you will. They gave him a 1 year, $2.8 million deal. Hadn't been in the NBA for 5 years, but been doing his thing over in the Euro League. Okay, cool. And some people are excited about that, but it still feels like the Cavs need to do more, Alex.
Well, it was, it's cost cutting, right? They're trying to get under the apron, so they're shedding salary. So they got rid of
Yes.
Dean Wade's salary. They brought in a player who is very similar to Dean Wade, I think, in Mario Hezonja, kind of a similar size, similar,
Yeah.
3 and D type player.
At a lower
similarity,
cost, at a lower cost. So it's
much lower cost.
low risk, potential high reward. If he's real motivated, I mean, it's a 1-year deal, so I'm guessing he wants to stay in the NBA past this year, so he's going to try to ball out to get that new contract, right? Um, but it's also not a sure thing, right? It's cool. It adds some depth. We'll see what we have with him, but that's really the most significant thing they've done as far as adding anybody to this roster so far. Besides that, they did get Donovan Mitchell. This is how far back it's been now. Donovan Mitchell did re-up on a new 3-year deal. I forget the exact numbers now. Pretty cool to see him commit. And that was before the LeBron news dropped, by the way.
Mhm.
Um, we've talked about this many times. It's kind of crazy how much Mitchell has embraced being here and it has said yes now twice since being traded here, and wants to continue to be here. So that's pretty cool. And good to have him here. And they also re signed Thomas Bryant.
Back to Spida Mitchell real quick.
Yeah.
That was kind of unexpected that he re-upped here and signed an extension when he could have waited until mid next season and signed a new supermax deal
Yes.
and really you know, pinned us in the salary cap. But him signing the extension this offseason, it's also a cost savings that saves us some money.
Absolutely. And I wonder if that's what he was thinking was, listen, I just watched the New York Knicks win the championship. I saw Jalen Brunson take less money to have more talent around him. Like, I don't know if that was part of it or not. But yeah, I think a lot of people were surprised. I was totally expecting him not to sign it this summer. Us going to next season, being on, eggshells about how we felt about him as a result, and us having to listen to trade scenarios for a month and a half before the trade deadline, happens next year. So with him deciding to come back and be here, that definitely helps. And then you also have James Harden, who, for all the hate he has gotten, has been a team player here this offseason. He has yet to sign his contract because he is trying to give the Cleveland Cavaliers flexibility in other moves that they can make.
Right.
Right. So you like to see that out of your top guys doing that.
Yeah, he's
And
been extremely patient,
yeah,
which reminds me, Draymond Green was doing the same thing for Golden State. I haven't heard if he's signed yet or not either.
I thought I saw he did, but I don't
Okay.
remember. I feel like every time I see or hear about Draymond Green, it's him like podcasting now, which is kind of weird considering he's still in the NBA.
Hmm.
You can kind of tell what his next move is going to be. But yeah, he was trying to do the same thing to make room for LeBron when Golden State was trying to get him. I do wonder I do wonder what that Harden deal will look like when it's all said and done. He is 37, so 2 years, 3 years, somewhere around there, and I'll just be curious to see what that number comes in at and how much longer he's willing to wait, Alex.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to believe, remembering all the way back to that OKC team with him and Westbrook and Durant all together. It's
You don't,
incredible. And
you
then
you don't.
Westbrook just announced his retirement.
He did. Westbrook did, and we were just talking before we recorded. First, he should go to the Big Three league. He
Hmm.
would dominate. Second, there was a hot second a week or so ago. I was like, what about Russell? What about Westbrook? Would he be worth taking a shot at? He's kind of a loose cannon, but he could still produce and just I don't know. At this point, you just want to see the Cavs do something,
Hmm.
right? But what I remember about that OKC team was how badly I wanted them to beat the Miami Heat the year that they faced them in the finals and
Yeah.
not let LeBron get his championship, and the Thunder let me down.
I'd like to go back and watch some of those games,
It
actually.
would be fun. It
Yeah.
would be fun. They were Serge Ibaka. I think Steven Adams was there before he
Yeah.
had the long hair. Like
Yeah, they had a squad.
they had a squad, man. They had a squad.
They were all just super young at the time.
They were. They were. But yeah, Westbrook announced his retirement. Kind of surprising. Thought he had another year or so, but he decided to hang it up on his own terms. Besides that, the Cavs did make a trade. They did shed some more salary by moving Dennis Schroeder to the Charlotte Hornets. They also sent $4 million along with Schroeder because they are highly motivated not to move any more of their picks, at least it seems. And they sent $4 million in cash as well for Trey Man. Trey Man,
Trey
young
Man.
guard, Trey Man.
2 words, two
Yes,
names
two
there.
words, two
Trey
words.
Man.
Trey Man, not the man. Trey Man.
Trey Man.
Trey Man comes back to the Cleveland Cavaliers, although I am curious if he does stick around, Alex, but because between Trey Man, Proctor, Porter Jr., and Malik Thomas, who we have to talk about real quick, you now have 4 young, unproven backup point guards on your team that are all 6'4", 6'5", maybe, and under.
Yeah.
And that's just too many young guys and too many unexperienced guys. And someone's got to go. And I don't know if it'll be Man or not.
So
But
Trey Man is 25 years old. He's six
yeah.
foot four. They have him listed as a point guard on Basketball Reference, but he's played the last 5 seasons in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Had a bad shooting
not
year last year.
ironically, Trey Man does not shoot the tray very well.
No. And I think he's making $8 million, and and there's a team option.
He hasn't played a whole lot. Like, I don't
No.
see a season where he's like played the whole season.
Mm-mm. He's
Like
probably a
last,
guy that, probably wasn't able. I mean, think about it. They had LaMelo out there.
Mhm.
It just probably was hard for him to stick in the rotation. And I think
Yeah,
that's going to be the case here if he does start off the season actually in a Cavaliers uniform. Say they move Porter Jr. or something like that. I still don't see him beating out some of the other guys, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And it was really just a shedding more salary. Bobby Marks, who is the salary guru, says swapping out Shooter for Trey Mann creates savings below the apron for Cleveland. The Cavs are now $32 million below the first apron and $44 million below the second apron. The figures did not include a new contract for James Harden. And he says for now, Cleveland is likely to have the 6.1 tax mid-level exception available.
so that gives us the MLE to get a player, and it also gives us room to give Harden a contract without going back over the apron, possibly.
Right. It opens up doors for another move, and people got really excited when that news dropped on Schroeder because it's like, okay, it's like just tumbleweeds forever, right? So anything we're just like grasping onto, and everybody thought another move was coming. And we'll see. I mean, it's only been a couple days, but the 2 names that we have heard forever now, it's getting tiring to be honest with you, is Jonathan Kuminga and Peyton Watson
Mhm.
out in Denver. What are your thoughts on either of those players? Do you like either one of them? Do you like one over the other? It seems like it would take a little bit more work to get Watson, who is a restricted free agent. It might involve having to move a Max Strus. It might involve having to give up a draft pick. Kuminga, not as much, but there's still things that need to happen to make that move happen.
I like the idea of Watson more than I like the idea of Kuminga. I would prefer to bring in Watson if we could, but I don't think either one of them really moves the needle for us. It's not. I don't know. I think we just kind of stay even, kind of stay status quo, no matter which one we bring in.
It'll be interesting. I think Kuminga seems more like a little bit of a risk to me, only because I don't know. He's had several teams give up on him now. He's got crazy athleticism. Listen, he'd be a fun guy to watch. Don't get me wrong. You're going to see, breakaway dunks and highlight plays and all that stuff, but he's not a great shooter. And, just where's his head at? Is he trying to just get paid? Is he trying to actually find his place in the NBA? So on and so forth. And Watson, admittedly, I don't know much about Watson until he came up, and you just every day you see, stuff on him, and you see footage and stuff like that. Looks like a nice player. Looks a little bit more mature, maybe a better fit as far as being able to slide right in to potentially the starting role. If Kuminga comes in, I don't know if you start him. If you still have Strus, if you still have Tyson, if you still have some of these other guys,
Mhm.
I don't know if he's necessarily starting. To where with Watson, again, it's a bigger investment. Strus might not even be here anymore. It feels like he'd be slotted in to your starting small forward spot.
But I really think that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna get one or the other. We're gonna bring them in,
Yeah,
and that's gonna be our off season. I as much as I would like to see them make some sort of bigger splash, I think this is it. Like I think if they're gonna make a splash, it's gonna be at the trade deadline. I don't
I
think it's
think
gonna be this
yes.
off season.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I'm starting to see some crazy Kevin Durant stuff come up again. And I kind of roll my eyes every time I see that because last time we saw that come up a year or so ago, it was, Kevin Durant for Evan Mobley and all that stuff. But, I don't know the realities around any of that kind of stuff. And I don't feel like that's, realistic or whatever.
I,
These are the two names that we have heard forever.
yeah,
And either neither one of them have landed somewhere else, even though the Lakers are interested in Kuminga, and I'm sure there's other teams that would like Watson, but it doesn't feel like the Cavs are battling against, too many teams here. It's just what are the Cavs willing to give up? And I think both sides are just playing chess right now. I think Denver wants that first round pick. I think the Cavs want to see if they can do something without giving up a pick, right? With Kaminga, maybe it comes down to a numbers game or figuring out a sign and trade with Atlanta. Well, what does Atlanta want, and what are we willing to give up and so on and so forth.
hmm
It's just interesting how long that is drawn out as well, though, for both players.
I think last season, Jalen Tyson showed incredible potential, and that's kind of what makes me think that we're not going to do any sort of crazy move, and we're going to play who we have up until the All-Star break and just see how these lineups work out now that we have Harden on the team. He only played, I can't remember what it was, like 17 regular season games with us at the end of last season. So let's see what some of these lineups look like, see how they how they play with these Mitchell, Harden, Tyson, Struce lineups. And if it's going well, then maybe we stick with that. If it's not, then we'll try to make a trade at the trade deadline.
Would you give Tyson the green light and experiment with him with being your starter?
100%.
Yeah.
First half of the season, 100%. That's what I want to see him do. Give Tyson all the minutes he wants.
Yeah, I think where I was a little bit disappointed last year with Tyson, and it wasn't necessarily, I don't think, his fault. Everything changed. We talked about this. Everything changed when Harden came in. But Tyson was able to prove when there were some injuries and he was given some opportunities that he could be a serious, basketball player for this team, right? He
It
had some
wasn't just
great
Harden. Like
stretches.
I don't want to blame Harden. It wasn't Harden that cut
Well, the
him and
rotation
Tyson. It was
changed.
Keon Ellis, it was Dennis Schroeder, and Harden. We gained three players
Yes.
that really cut into everyone else's minutes.
Right. But it cut into Tyson's minutes, and as a result, it also cut into his playoff time early, early during the playoffs. As time got on and things weren't working out, Tyson started to get some minutes. But I would love to unleash him this year. Let him play 30 minutes, 28 minutes a night, or whatever. If he's not starting, have him be your first guy off the bench and just let him get all the experience he can so that next playoffs, he is in the rotation, playing significant minutes, making that impact versus this past offseason where he was kind of there, kind of not, kind of in, kind of out, kind of able to do some things, but not really, so on and so forth. I think I think one of the ways that this team, if they're going to improve, part of it's going to have to be from within, right? And I know everybody kind of rolls their eyes at this point of Mobley taking that next step, but imagine if he does. Imagine if Tyson takes that next step. If those two guys take those next steps, Cavs will surprise some players, some
You know
people
who
this
you know who
this
you're
year.
leaving out of that?
Um,
Malik Thomas.
Malik Thomas,
He
yeah,
tore it
yeah,
up at summer. Yeah. I mean he killed it.
man,
He was cooking everybody.
he was.
Give that guy some minutes.
That's the other thing too, is there was some reports right after that said that, the Cavs feel like he can make an impact right away. And I will be curious with them moving on from Schroeder. Are they gonna rely on these young guys? Are they gonna rely on someone like Thomas to be that backup point guard? I'm hesitant on whether they're gonna truly give any of these guys that role. But Thomas, man, he showed some flashes and he could score. Now we got to see how that translates to the NBA, right? Preseason and all that stuff. He'll get some run again. The talent level will go up. But man, that was an unexpected, pleasant surprise to watch Malik Thomas just tear it up over the summer. That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
That was fun. But yeah, but again, if you're absolutely right, if he can contribute this year, that's another young guy that steps up that nobody's really thinking about right now. Everybody's just thinking about, we lost LeBron. We didn't trade for Jaylen Brown. We didn't get Giannis. Woe is me. Boo hoo. When, you still have a very good basketball team. And this group, if anything, has another year together. And that camaraderie builds, that chemistry builds. And again, what if some of these young guys take that next step? Even someone like a Tomlin, who started to show signs last year. No, I don't expect him to turn into an all-star player or anything like that. But what if Tomlin continues to develop, continues to find minutes in your rotation? Like, there are players on this team, Alex, that can contribute, that can make a difference, that I think nobody is really giving enough credit or thinking about right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like Tomlin was a defensive beast.
He
Like
was.
he's
He
not the
was the other.
biggest
He was the other
guy,
fun guy to
but
watch in summer
yeah.
league too. It
Mhm.
was him and Thomas out there, and yeah, he just, man, I don't know what his ceiling is, but he was fun last year, and I'm curious to see what his role looks like this upcoming season.
He's just an athletic freak.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So that's kind of been the Cavs off season. Did it meet fans' expectations? Not even close, right? Now, if the Cavs make a move here yet, I think Cavs fans will feel a lot better if they go out and get Watson. I think a lot of people will take a deep breath and tell themselves that, okay, this is okay, right? And that time will tell if that actually happens, Alex. But in the meantime, the NBA schedule did come out, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are not getting as much love as what they did last year. The Cavs only have 17 nationally televised games. The max is 34 games. The Spurs, the Knicks, the Lakers have 34 nationally televised games. The Thunder have 32, and then it just drops from there. There were some interesting teams that had more than us. The Pistons. The Pistons have more than us. They have 19. And there was a couple other teams that were interesting. But Alex, we also don't have a Christmas Day game, and we don't even play on the NBA opening night. Finally, for the 6th year in a row, the Cavs will be starting their first game of the season on the road. We haven't had a home game to open up the season, and this will be our 6th year now. And to add salt to that wound, it will be in Philadelphia against the 76ers, Alex.
Oh, good. I hope we cook them.
I hope so too. I'm going to be nervous going into that game. I'm going to be hyped up, not going to lie, but I'm going to be nervous
Well, our team's been
because
together for a while, and they're going
I
to be trying to
know, I
figure it
know,
out.
but man,
So I'm hoping.
that's their home opener though. Adrenaline's running, the fans. It's just like, man, they could also cook us by 30. I don't know. But I would love it if the Cavs went in there and pulled out a victory. That'd be great. But yeah. I am shocked, Alex, that game though is not in Cleveland. Because the NBA knows what they're doing with making that schedule, adding dramatics to it, right? But wouldn't it have been even more dramatic if the Cavs' first game was at home with LeBron and the 76ers at Rocket Mortgage Arena?
Oh yeah.
Boy. Missed opportunity there, Mr. Silver. What do you think the Cavs fans' reaction would have been?
I really don't know. I
Cheers,
I
booze.
think there would have been some booze.
There'd be some nasty signs. Is some little kid holding up a sign?
I don't know. I don't know if it would go that far. Maybe.
It's interesting. It's interesting because it's still so close that it's still fresh enough. I think. I don't know. I don't know what would happen.
I would say that like all of last season, I wouldn't have even thought of LeBron coming back to Cleveland really, or that I would have even cared, or that it would have made a difference. It didn't really hit me until he left the Lakers. He's on the open market. The Cavs are being floated as one of the top 3 teams he's talking about rejoining. And then it just started building hype and this expectation, and it could happen.
And then he wasn't looking for a max contract. Like he signed what?
Yeah,
What did he sign? It was a $16 million deal for 2 years? Are you kidding me?
yeah, it was something
Eight
cheap.
million? That's what Trey Mann's making. Trey Mann's making 8 million. Man, it's gonna hurt going back and looking at this, in the future of the history of all this. That there was an opportunity, and $8 million. Yeah.
Hmm.
But man, yeah, it would have been kind of crazy if that first game, what was at home against Philadelphia, you couldn't write up a better start to the season. However, Cavs fans, you won't have to wait too long because November 6th is when Philadelphia comes to Cleveland for the first time and LeBron comes back. So,
Yeah.
less than 2 weeks later, basically, he'll
I don't
be
know.
here.
I don't know what to expect. I think
It's
he
going
will
to be
get.
interesting.
I think he will get some booze. Like,
Absolutely. I think he
yeah.
will. I think he'll get some booze.
I'm
I
just,
think,
Cavs fans, they hold grudges, man. Like Kelly Olynyk still gets booze.
hell yeah, man.
We still hate Carlos Boozer, man, and he only spurned
Absolutely.
us one time. LeBron's done it multiple times.
Absolutely. What I don't want to see, but we will, I don't want to see Philadelphia 76er LeBron jersey sitting in the stands. But there'll be some there, I guarantee it. But yeah, that'll be interesting. That'll be a fun watch. The first game of the season, that'll be a interesting watch. I don't know if I'll say fun, depends on the outcome of it. Um, and some other key games, Alex, is November 7th will be the first time that we play against the Knicks in New York, of course, right? That'll allow us, that's like a measuring stick game. Okay, where are we at? How are we looking? That kind of thing. December 31st. Do you know who makes their triumphant return to Cleveland for the first time?
No.
Darius Garland.
Yeah.
Clippers will be playing here on the
Forgot all
31st.
about him.
Yeah. Yeah. Come back. No.
His
Yeah.
toe's still here somewhere.
Yeah. 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 And then we're also playing on MLK Day, Martin Luther King Day. They did give us that. I forget who we're playing against though, Alex. I don't have the full
Pistons.
Pistons.
I want
Okay,
to say Pistons.
that'll be cool. That'll be a good matchup. Be curious to see. Pistons are another team, Alex. They've done less than we have, I think, with their off season, which is interesting. And but yeah, okay. So we play the Pistons on MLK Day. So feels like not getting as much love as years past, right? No opening day, no Christmas Day, playing in LeBron's house instead of him playing in our house up at the season, just so on and so forth. Nationally televised games down. I forget what it was last year, but I guarantee it was more than 17. It feels like the NBA is seeing the Cavs as a team trending downward instead of trending upward. Is that fair? Do you get that sense, Alex?
Yeah, there's definitely a lack of respect going on.
What do you think about that, Alex? What do you say to that?
Hey, uh, we're always the underdog. It's always Cleveland against the world. So, if they want to disrespect us, and if they, yeah, I think they're gonna get bit because we still got a squad. We got a good team.
We do. We do. Um, and I hope that lights a fire underneath the Cavs players. Like, you're getting no love. LeBron decided to go somewhere else. He's now your competition. You hope that lights a fire under them. And you know what? I kind of like going back to the underdog status a little bit because the last couple seasons it was like, man, Cavs, 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 right? We win 60 something games 2 years ago, get to Eastern Conference Finals last year, and now we're just looked at as no. Halliburton's coming back. Uh, the Knicks are the champs. 76ers are going to go to the finals. Boston will somehow be in the mix. Cavs, you're not even a top 4 team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
We'll
We'll see
see.
what happens. We'll
Yeah.
see what happens, though. So it'll be interesting. And that's what gets me excited, Alex. As we inch closer to summer being, over with here, the reality is we are getting back to Cavs basketball here soon, and it's easy to get excited again,
You
even
gonna
with the
pick up
letdowns.
the next NBA 2K game?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know, man. I will
Same
say,
roster as last season, so
yeah. If I do get it, it's for that Dennis Schroeder's trade, though. I just want to make sure I have the most updated roster.
Mm.
It's actually from Malik Thomas, if I'm being honest. I did see some Cavs player ratings. Harden and Mitchell, what were they rated? I want to say 87s.
What? That's
That
pretty
doesn't
low.
sound right. I'm sorry. Mitchell had to be higher. I'm not even going to try to.
Gotta
I
be a
know
90 something.
Mitchell had to be a 90 something. It was Harden and somebody else. Harden was an
Mobley?
87. Allen was an 85. Mitchell must have been higher. Mitchell might have been a 90 or something like that. I could be wrong, but I don't know if I'm going to pick it up. It's just so hard buying a game just for a roster update, basically, especially since games aren't cheap these days. The cheapest version is $70. Just like stuff will be on sale by Black Friday for
Yep.
$30.
Mhm.
And I've said this. I think I said this last year. The game comes out, I think, early September this year, like the first week of September. Season hasn't even started, and you're bored with it by November, right? I always hate how early it comes out in comparison, like in parallel with the season. So I don't know. We'll see. What about you?
Probably not.
Yeah.
At least not until it's down to like, 15 or $20.
Oh, you're waiting longer than Black Friday. Then you're waiting until
Maybe.
Christmas.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe Christmas. So how you think you're gonna watch the Cavs games?
I was doing some
Is there
research the other day, and I was like, how can I watch games this year? Because didn't FanDuel is FanDuel still around? Didn't they
Oh, they're
close
gone.
or
Yeah,
yeah,
they
they're
went under.
gone. They're gone, right? So, and we haven't heard any news yet. The Cavs haven't announced, what streaming service or anything like that the games are going to be on. You were talking to me the other day at work through messaging.
Yeah.
You heard some rumors. What did you hear?
Thought it was gonna be Dazen. It's like DAZN. They already scooped up the rights to several other NBA teams, and supposedly the Cavs will be one of those teams that they'll take over the rights to.
And did
But
you
it's
see, did
$25 a month subscription. Yeah.
yeah. Neither one of us have cable. We're not going to get cable. Um, not many options left. Not many options left. FanDuel was pretty good. Even Bally Sports was fine. And that $20 a month pay point was we can live with that, right? So we'll see what happens. 25 isn't terrible, but we'll see what happens, I guess. I'm done watching it on janky ways though, Alex. That
Mm.
that I used to do that a couple years ago, and it's just waiting for the buffer. Click out of that ad that just popped up, right?
I found a pretty good one. So
All right.
I'll
Send it to
either
me
give
offline.
NBA League Pass a try or go back to something else.
Yeah. We'll see. Preseason, Alex. When does preseason start?
Good question.
October.
October, what was it, 16th or 18th?
October 8th
8th.
through
All
the
right.
13th. The Cavs have 3 games this year. October 8th against the Boston Celtics at Rocket Arena. Sunday, October 11th, Orlando Magic at Rocket Arena. And Tuesday, the 13th, against the Orlando Magic on the road. The NBA is doing the same thing as last year, Alex, where they have games of the week or whatever you want to call it on different streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
So ESPN, Peacock, and Prime, and all that. Um, Not shocked that that's sticking around, but I'm assuming you're not a fan of that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I also read the Cavs have 16 sets of back-to-backs, which is tied for the most in the league. So we're
Yikes.
really getting screwed over on this schedule.
Yeah. Like I said, man, Cavs not giving the love this year. And hate to bring them up again, but LBJ had a great quote. Everything is earned, nothing is given, right? Cavs are going to have to earn it. They're going to have to earn that respect back from the NBA, from fans, from the league, other teams, whatever you want to call it, that they're still a serious contender.
I mean, they just went to the conference finals.
I know.
I mean, it's
But
top
nobody
14.
sees that, but nobody sees them as a true threat. That's the problem. And it's because of how they
Never will.
and it's because of how they lost, and it's because their offseason has been. I mean, if you had to give it a grade, you ain't giving them higher than a C right now. At least most fans wouldn't, right? So, I get it. I get why. What are the Cavs going to do with it? Hopefully, it's motivation. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Anything else, Alex? Before we wrap up, you had some exciting
Yeah.
news that you wanted to share.
Yeah, I do have some exciting news.
An announcement.
The Cleveland WNBA team has released their name and new logo, the Sirens.
The Sirens. The
Think
Cleveland
about that.
Sirens.
Yeah, the Sirens.
All right.
If you saw the Odyssey movie this summer, there were sirens in it.
Okay.
Which, when the Indians changed their names to the Guardians, it was like Guardians of the Galaxy, where that was the hot movie, and now the Odyssey's the hot movie, and Cleveland once again took a
Capitalizing.
sports team name based on something from it. It seems like, I don't know.
That's funny. We're still a couple years away, right? 27 or 28, I think, is when Cleveland will have a WNBA team again. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like, I barely remember the Rockers. I don't really remember much about it.
I remember it being a great name for a basketball team, and I remember liking the color scheme of their jerseys. But that was about it.
I don't remember it like being on TV, or I don't remember like hearing scores about it or who any of the players' names were, or
different times.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, Alex, let's wrap this episode up. Thank you, Cavs fans, as always, for tuning in and listening. And Alex, let them know where they can follow us and connect with us.
Follow us on X at Cavs Pick and Roll. Shoot us an email, cavspickandroll@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr. Watch this episode on YouTube. Wherever you're listening, watching, click like, subscribe, leave us a rating or a review. We'd appreciate it.
All right, Cavs fans, there it is. We'll talk to you again soon.
Peace out, Cavs fans.